Good afternoon at the Riverside Stadium in Queanbeyan. It's NPL Finals Series, the bottom four, match 2 between Tuggeranong United and Monaro Panthers. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator. Joining me for this one is Lachlan Roberts. And Lachlan, we just saw the first game of the tournament end 1-1, so that gives an advantage to whoever can win this one to give them a good kickstart.
And these two teams did play each other recently, and it was a one-all draw between Monaro Panthers and Tuggeranong United. So a lot on the line here today. Beautiful conditions, a beautiful spring day. Sun is out, blue sky above. Should be a cracker.
Yeah, and that was at this venue as well, wasn't it? And in the end, you look back on Tuggeranong United, and failure to get 3 points from that game may have cost them a final series, if you're being a little bit harsh. On that occasion, it was one apiece, as we said. Harrison Bunell with the goal for Tuggeranong United, although David Jenkins may well have got the last touch, equalising a Ben Basser silk strike for the Panthers. Both these sides obviously will be hoping to start this finals series on a high. Let's take a look at the two teams. Tuggeranong United have made a surprise choice in their team. They've made 4 changes, and one of them is at right back, where Sean Kiddie is injured, and he's replaced by Eddie Coggan, who's nominally a centre forward. So Jacob Wiseman in goal, Coggan at right back, Felici at left back, Harrison Bunell and Regan Walsh the central defenders, Cam Doherty, who played his 100th game at Deakin Stadium last week, in the holding role, Ewan Peterkin, Marco Gar and Jono Turek in front of him, Harry Truman and Andrew Slavic the front two. So Eddie Coggan at right back, interesting choice.
Strange choice, isn't it? Whether that is a tactical decision to have a right back that pushes high up the field and uses his pace, or if Mitch Stevens seen Eddie performance in training and seen him more as a defender now, who knows?
I understand that Mitch Stevens told him yesterday at training, just before the session started, that he'd be playing right back before they had their kick around that they did in training, and he did a good job, so he's been tasked with that today. He'll be up against Adam New on that flank. Monaro Panthers unchanged from the side that drew 0-0 here against Gungahlin United in their last game of the season. Evan Alexander Wrigley starts between the sticks. Sam Rosebuck and Osman Daramy, central defenders. David Jenkins and Eli Howe, who were busy that evening, in the middle. Ben Basser-Silk, Aaron Cashman and Nick Dahl, the midfield three. Up front, Sam Smith and Adam New alongside the American Lukman Ahmed Shaibu.
After a lot of chopping and changing throughout the season, it seems like a fairly settled 11 that Canaritas has decided on here this afternoon.
Substitutes for Tuggeranong. I think I've only got the 3 on my list. Sam Smith, Van Newen and James Benevento. Double check the team sheet for you. Monaro Panthers, James Driscoll, Mitch Jervis Hamilton, Ed McCarthy, goalkeeper Nathan Afferink and Patrick Mitchell. So we'll double check that team sheet just to make sure that Tuggeranong haven't added someone to the substitutes bench. Tuggeranong United come into this game unbeaten in the last 5. It's the best run in the competition aside from Canberra, Croatia, and their best run in over 15 years in capital football competitions. So they are a form side, and they narrowly missed out in the cruelest of fashions last week, didn't they, with Ryan Keir's injury time goal denying them the top 4 spot.
Just heartbreaking, wasn't it, watching those scenes and the players at the full-time whistle slumping to their knees. But it's a tough game, football, and it was just one late strike, one late switch off that cost them.
Need to pick themselves up today, and it'll be difficult to do so, you're thinking, in what's been a strange old atmosphere around these bottom 4 finals. I mean, all 3 games we've seen today. I mean, you work for the Federation as well, look, and it's good that they're getting boys out there to play some football on the field in the bottom 4, but it's a difficult one for them to motivate themselves, isn't it?
And that's why I asked Jimmy before kickoff, what is the motivation like? He said it was more of a relaxed atmosphere this week in training. The burden is almost lifted off the shoulders, and we might see a more relaxed Monaro Panthers side, the one that scores goals, the side that struggled to score goals this season. Yeah, let's hope we do see a lot of that. Panthers only scored 1 in their last 3. That was Basser-Silk's goal here against Tuggeranong United. As I mentioned, Tuggeranong haven't lost since round 2. Bruno Kell, the man in the middle with the ball in his hand. Nathan Shakespeare and Curtis Schaefer on the sideline. Nathan Shakespeare, who just refereed the game we watched a moment ago. That was played at a fairly lethargic pace. Woden Western unbeaten in 3 now as well. The second half did seem to drag on for longer than 45 minutes. I had to look at my watch a couple of times to make sure the clock hadn't stopped.
Came to life a little bit at the end. Roy Anderson equalising Nick Popovic's goal. His 3rd goal in 2 games against Canberra Olympic. So he scored 3 in the Premier League, Roy Anderson, all of them against Canberra Olympic.
Is that form strong enough to say the Olympic your bunny side?
Well, you'd have to be, wouldn't you? He's got none against anybody else. Action next week. Balcony United versus Tigers FC, 1:30 Deakin Stadium. Top four, myself and Grace Gill on that one. Myself and Frank Keisha, Canberra, Croatia versus Gungahlin United at 3:45 on Saturday afternoon. Sunday, 13th September, Woden Western v Monaro Panthers here at 1:30. And at this time next week, Tuggeranong United versus Canberra Olympic. Tuggeranong United drawn the 3:45 fixtures for all 3 weeks at this venue. Monaro Panthers, the home side, playing away today on their own patch. Taking their time to get out there. Bit of a delayed kickoff. Maybe that's the relaxed atmosphere you're talking about, Lachlan. They don't want to start, they're that relaxed.
Just give them a couple of 5-10 minutes to warm up again.
So green and white against green and black. We'll wait and see just what we get out of this. Jimmy Canarides looks like he's going to take a place up in the stand rather than on the bench. Out of your shot at the moment, that'd be interesting.
It'd go along with the storyline of relax, wouldn't it?
Couldn't get much more relaxed than not actually being on the bench.
Maybe Jimmy feels like he can get away with voicing his opinion from the crowd instead of from the bench. A bit more freedom.
We're just waiting for this one to get underway. A reminder that the previous match finished 1-1, which means that if either of these sides can win, they'll put themselves in good stead for a spot in the bottom 4 grand final in 3 weeks' time. On a Sunday morning at Deakin Stadium, I understand, 11:15 kickoff.
Get your morning coffee ready, Russ.
Well, several. There's a game before that as well, I think, on that Sunday, isn't there? I think at 9 a.m. under 23's bottom 4 final also. That's an early start.
I think there's been 9 a.m. games this weekend for the under 23s.
There was one here this morning. Tuggeranong United, Woden Western drew 2 apiece. Gungahlin United won their respective match against Tigers FC in the under 23s by 2-0 as well. WNPL result yesterday, Balcony United beat Canberra Olympic 2-1. There's WNPL going on at the moment as well. Gungahlin United leading Wagga City Wanderers by 3-0. And Canberra, Croatia are leading 2-0 as well against Tuggeranong, I believe that is. And what's the other game today? Canberra United Academy, are they playing in action today?
Versus Monaro Panthers. Late kickoff at Hawker Football Centre. Might be even a later kickoff. There was a head injury in the reserves game as well, so the game was paused for quite some time.
It's not what you like to see, is it? I was in commentary with Grace Gill in a W League match when Natasha Pryor went down with a head injury. We had a 15-minute delay in that one. It was a long recovery for her, so fingers crossed. About to get underway here. Bruno Kell says, let's go. Marco Gaia with the first touch, and Cam Doherty with, this is what Tuggeranong do all the time. The long ball forward there off the kickoff to Ewan Peterkin to try and get on the front foot. It's a Mitch Stevens tactic, which keeps the ball away from his own goal. And you'll see that at every grade that Tuggeranong play in NPL. They will take that same kickoff to get the ball at the other end of the park.
Get the nice field position early on in the match.
I think the thinking behind it is that why would you go backwards and put yourself under pressure when you've got the kickoff?
Don't trust your backline with the ball at the feet.
We don't want to be conceding anything needlessly, I guess. Jenkins lifts it forwards, looks for Rosebarken. Jacob Wiseman was alert to the danger.
Wiseman's had a terrific season, hasn't he? He's put on some blinding saves that have kept his side in matches, particularly that the save at Melrose against Balcony United.
Super save from a header. He's only been beaten 3 times in the last 5 games. So it's a good record for the Tuggeranong shot stopper. Here's Marco Gaia in midfield. Tried to find Jono Churek, who was fouled according to Bruno Kell. Free kick to Tuggeranong United. Churek back in the lineup after a couple of games in the under 23s. Apologies if you can hear the language coming through.
That was so loud it wasn't even coming through our effects mic, that was coming through our headset.
Ball lifted towards the far post where Peterkin was. Jenkins won the header. Smith wants the loose ball. Got there ahead of Felici. Nick Dahl in midfield. Peterkin picks it up for Tuggeranong. Tried to find Slavic, but Cashman, formerly of Tuggeranong, won in midfield and steps away from a couple of challenges. Off he goes on a run, Aaron Cashman, and then runs it out of play. Had a spell with Woden Western as well as Tuggeranong United. He's going to get the free kick, I think.
Yeah, no advantage. It's been pulled back.
Sam Rosebakken, the fullback, over the ball. Panthers have only won 2 of the last 9 matches played between the clubs. 4-1 in round 6 last year and 2-0 in round 18 way back in 2017. Daramy into the penalty area straight away. Ahmed Shabi leaves it run and Sam Smith calmly buries it in the corner, and it's only taken Monaro 3 minutes and Smith has his first of the season. Beautifully taken. 1-0 Panthers.
Comes from playing Daramy high up on that left wing, and just a beautiful communication between Lukman Shabu and Sam Smith, letting it run towards his right winger, who just places it past Jacob Wiseman, who was just left flat-footed.
Absolutely no chance for Wiseman, and Smith buries it in the bottom corner, and a glorious start for the Monaro Panthers. Could not have asked for a better opening. The first time they've got forward in the game, and they're on the score sheet. Now it's up to Tuggeranong to respond. Bunnell under pressure from Smith. Goes back to Wiseman. For a moment it looked like he'd left it a bit short. I was just mentioning that Panthers don't have a great record against Tuggeranong. Tuggeranong have a horrendous record at the Riverside. They've only won once in the last 6 matches played here, and that was in round 8 back in 2018. They won 4-3 that day. It's not their favourite venue in Canberra.
So it all points to a 1-1 draw again?
Well, hopefully a bag full of goals. It's got the best start possible. Howe nods it forward. Truman battling with Howe. Howe's got a head start on the young Tuggeranong flyer.
One thing you notice about Howe this weekend is his lack of hair. Got a haircut during the week.
Swung in, a real chance for Slavic, and that should have been 1-1. Glorious opening for Slavic. He's just completely unmarked and he's nodded over the crossbar.
You're talking about the possibility of having a bag of goals. We nearly had 2 inside the first 5 minutes. That was a brilliant opportunity. He just couldn't get his header on target.
Met it almost too well, Andrew Slavic, with the header. He puts his head to the sky. He thinks he should have scored.
Looked like Alexander Ridley wasn't going to even get close to it, so he had to put that on target. Glorious chance to equal.
Well, it feels really open, doesn't it? Complete contrast to what we watched a little earlier. That's a lovely ball as well. Adam Neo's coming there, and he's got there ahead of Wiseman. Real chance for Neo in the open net. The ball spun away from him, and Walsh tidies for Tuggeranong. It stayed in play. It's actually hit the corner flag. Everything's happening in the first 5 minutes here.
It's trying to make up for the last game they were calling Russ.
It's literally...
It's all excitement all round.
Different pace to this, right from the off. And Neo, very unfortunate not to double the Panthers' advantage. Wiseman caught in no man's land.
Unusual mistake from the keeper.
Smith, Dahl couldn't stretch. Well, Panthers, who've only had 2 wins in their last 12 NPL matches, are looking sharp. They do tend to find the net, though. Only the 0-0 draw with Gungahlin here last week was only the 3rd time in their last 19 NPL games that they haven't found the net. So they've kept that record up again with a goal today. Now it's kicking on from there and getting a win.
It almost goes against the feeling that you have about Monaro Panthers, the fact that they've struggled to put it together in that final third. I'm surprised that they have that strong goal-scoring record across those last 19 games.
Struggle for them has been turning 1 into 2. And then that's usually then been enough to take the points, and it hasn't happened often. This season, of course, they lost 2-1 to Canberra Croatia, 2-1 to Tigers FC, 2-1 to Canberra Olympic, and drew 1-1 here to Tuggeranong. So there's 4 games in which they've scored in, and yet they've only come away with 1 point.
Just like that killer instinct.
Well, they've got a brilliant start to build on here. They've got themselves another 84 minutes to bag a second if they can. Bunel for Tuggeranong, under pressure from Smith. Sam Smith deserves that goal. He's put in a huge amount of work all season.
Is that his first goal of the 2020 season?
It certainly is. His 21st overall in his 69th match. Tuggeranong looking for a respond. Run forward from Coggan from fullback. In his more natural position. That might be caught out of position here somewhat. Peterkin's dropped in to help out. Coggan's tracking back and making a foul, and he's going to have a word here, Bruno Kell. Thought he was reaching for the pocket for a moment. Bassasilk with a free kick. Cashman. Felici at the back. Jimmy Canarides, the Monaro coach, has stood in front of the commentary position here to our left, so not on the bench.
Maybe next week you just get him in the commentary box and you can call the game.
Well, I guess the officials can't really tell him not to stop moving around if he wants to on this side. He's not constrained by a technical area. Well, here's a random stat for you as well, Lachlan. Panthers have only won once away to Tuggeranong in 7 attempts. Well, the teams have met 3 times in cup competitions, and Tuggeranong won them all. So technically, Panthers are away today, even though they're at home. So that could change.
It's all a mentality thing, isn't it?
Strange, isn't it?
Well, they couldn't use the away change rooms because the change rooms are locked, so maybe that is also an aspect to it.
Ahmed Shaibu might be in behind here. Here's Lukman Ahmed Shaibu, and he's hit the post. Could and perhaps should have been 2-0. And Tuggeranong all at sea at the back at the moment. Nick Dahl, Panthers looking rampant. Felici with the challenge. Bunel got a foot in. Slavic, nice turn away from one, and then nutmegs Aaron Cashman. And Peterkin sends it forward, and Gaia can chase, but overhit. And Ahmed Shaibu perhaps should have scored.
Just had acres of space and so much time to pick his spot, and he just picked the post. Should have been 2-0.
Well, if Jimmy Canarides was asking what sort of response he'd get from his team, having finished bottom of the table, I think he could be very pleased with what he's seen so far. Smith in midfield to Bassasilk. Rosebakken. Smith started off at a decent pace this. Smith caught late, free kick Panthers, chance to load players into the penalty area again. And Mitch Stevens will be a little concerned with what he's seen in the opening 10 minutes. Although they did have a great chance to equalise, of course. Bassasilk over the ball with Adam Neer. It's Bassasilk who delivers in towards Ahmed Shaibu. Smith challenges. It was won by Truman. Nodded clear as far as Gaia. Rosebakken has it for Panthers. Near's touch. Now Regan Walsh, the Tuggeranong skipper, scored a cracking free kick last week. Just needs someone to settle it down a little bit for the I was going to say the visitors, the home side visiting. Truman. Here's Smith. Oh, lovely dad. Lovely touch. And he's swung it in toward the penalty area. And here's Ahmed Shaibu on the back post. Pulls it back for Adam Neo. He hits the crossbar. The woodwork struck twice by the Panthers in the first 11 minutes. And Tuggeranong all at sea in the back.
It was Eddie Coggan that got caught out, and looking over the show had plenty of time and space to pick his pass. Maybe the gamble hasn't paid off early on.
Shaibu hits the post. Adam Niu hits the bar. And the Panthers already have a goal from Sam Smith. Arguably, they could be out of sight already.
It's that killer instinct.
I wondered how Tuggeranong would respond to the heartbreak of missing out on finals last week. They haven't been at the races at this one from the start. Daramy wins the header. Every loose ball seems to be falling to a black and green shirt. And another free kick, Bruno Kell calls. Tuggeranong need to regroup, Lachlan.
just got to come out of the sheds again. Just have
Metaphorically.
They just haven't rocked up, it feels like, early on. But this is one of the... Mitch Stevens can be just grateful there's only 1-0. And his side's still in the game. It could have been 2-3 by this stage. So still an opportunity to work themselves into this game.
Well, Jimmy Canaridis might be asking how his team haven't gone 3-0 ahead. That's a long ball forward from Alexander Ridley. And Cashman's got in behind here now as well. Sat up for him. The midfielder manages to swing it into the box. Smith gets ahead of goalwards. And Wiseman called it into action again. But the Tuggeranong back four at the moment is being roasted. Coggan. Under pressure from Adam Neu. They've turned over possession again. Bassa Silk. Cashman. Leaves the ball behind. Peterkin. Doherty's there. And he'll look to bring it forward. Truman outside him. Gaia finds him with the touch. Truman for Tuggeranong. Into the penalty area, but there's Jenkins. Mentioned that a lot in the game we did here against Gungahlin United the other week. Jenkins defensively. Smith up against Felici, who does well to win the ball. Yeah, Jenkins and Howe were excellent, weren't they, last week in that 0-0 draw?
Just rock solid. One of the reasons why it was a 0-0 draw. Just defended wave after wave of Gungahlin attack, especially in that second half. It was Jenkins in the first half and Howe in the second.
Gaia is balked by Aaron Cashman. Free kick to Tuggeranong United, and perhaps a little bit of respite for a side that has been on the back foot for the opening 14 minutes of this encounter. Cam Doherty, as I mentioned, 100 up for him in the NPL last week. Coggan tries to slide it forward, but Bassa Silk was in the way. And he can bring it forward in oceans of space in midfield. And Lukman Ahmed Shaibu on the run up against Walsh. Bit of lofted cross comes to Rose Barkin. Dahl. Rose Barkin. Jenkins. Dahl. Cashman. There's a fluidity and cohesion with this Panthers attack at the moment, isn't there? They seem to be able to be they're a yard sharper and a yard quicker in everything they do.
And also just loads of space in that midfield. Just quick 1-2 passes, finding pockets of space amongst each other. But that's the side that we've seen all season with the Panthers. It's just that final third that they have really struggled to put it together.
Combination of unluckiness and some poor finishing has cost them dearly. Today it's just been the former. It's just been unlucky. The woodwork denying them twice.
Is it unlucky, or is it not being able to put your shots on target? Well, in the back of the net?
Combination of both, perhaps. I'm sure if you ask them 9 times out of 10 to hit the post from that, hit the post, they couldn't do it. And they'd be ending up in the bottom corner. Daramy. Bassa Silk. Everything's been played in the Tuggeranong half. Cashman's made a good run forward. It's gone short to Dahl instead. Howe finds Ahmed Shaibu. Dahl. Ahmed Shaibu again. And flags up against Adam Neu.
Panthers are just absolutely dominating possession, aren't they? Feels like it's 85% of the ball for the majority of this match.
Is that an official figure, 85%, or is that a
educated guess?
Educated guess.
Fine.
We'll ask
84%.
We'll ask at half time. See where we're at with this.
It might have changed by then.
It probably will have. Well, Mitch Stevens will definitely be hoping it has. Wiseman. I'm not disagreeing. We have got some stats up now, and you can confirm as Peterkin tries to slide it through.
Oh, the stats are wrong, clearly.
What does it say?
60%.
60, okay. It did feel a lot more than that, didn't it? Does feel a lot more than 60%.
The stats are wrong. I'm going to stick with 85.
Those betting websites don't know what they're doing, do they?
It's not their job or anything.
Bassa Silk's ball over the top. No one chasing after that, so it's an easy one for Cam Doherty to run out of play. If you just tuned in, you missed 16 minutes of action here. Sam Smith gave Monaro an early lead after 3 minutes. Since then, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu's hit the post on a one-on-one. Adam Neo struck the crossbar with a volley from 6 yards out. Adam Neo went round the goalkeeper as well, and only the run of the ball and some decent defending by Walsh prevented him from slotting into an empty net. At the other end, Andrew Slavic had a good chance with a header from about 8 yards out, which he nodded over the crossbar. So we've had plenty of openings in this one. Saw an incredibly open start to the game between Belcon and Gungahlin yesterday.
That game could have ended with more than 4 goals, couldn't it?
Well, Blue Devils arguably should have had 4 in the first 10 minutes. And yet they found themselves 1-0 down. Coggan goes back to Wiseman. Long ball forward, inviting Truman to chase. It's come for Gaia. Eased off it by Nick Dahl, who's adjudged to have been fouled, says Bruno Kell. Opportunity for Tuggeranong from a central position. Long way out, mind. Chance perhaps to lift something into the box. Slavic over it with the right foot. Cam Doherty as well. Slavic walks away and leaves it to Doherty, who's going to lift this into the danger zone. Clips a flat delivery and it's too long in the end.
Bit of a nothing free kick.
Always a difficult one from that position though, isn't it? Because to find, there's no angle on the ball to lift it in there. Nick Dahl. Jenkins. Eli Howe. Sends it down the line looking for the run of Daramy. Ahmed Shaibu's interested as well, and Wiseman needed to come. Doherty shepherded the ball back to his goalkeeper. Tuggeranong haven't been particularly free scoring themselves this season. Only 7 goals for Tuggeranong United. The last 5 all scored by different players. So whilst they're showing it around, perhaps they're not showing it around quite as much as they need to. Harry Truman, their leading goal scorer, with 3, but he's not netted since round 3. Jenkins, Rose Barkin, 2 balls to pick from. Dahl, Bassa Silk, Bruno Kell's down.
Big smile on his face, he enjoyed it.
Dahl in on the goal here and he sliced it horribly when it sat up. I'm not sure if Bruno Kell was fouled there. Looked like a dive. Simulation by the referee, is that a card?
Surely a stern talking to.
Once again though, Panthers cutting open the Tuggeranong defence, and Nick Dahl. So a bit of a lack of technique in the finish, unfortunately, for the midfielder. Walsh looks for Coggan, steps over. Slavic on the run around.
Great tackle.
Was indeed. Osman Daramy, who's done really well. Shows some strength to come away with it as well. Jenkins can bring it forwards once again. A raking ball towards Adam Neo. Eddie Coggan, his opposite number in defensive duties. Looked all right going forward, Coggan, from that role, hasn't he? But he's been caught out once or twice in the early stages.
Still learning what it means to be a right back, or when to time your runs and when to sit back and look out for people. Look out for the Monaro Panthers breaking in behind him. He's been caught out a couple of times, so just got to time his runs a little bit better.
Yeah, would have been hoping for a slightly more sedate start to life as a right back in the NPL. Eddie Coggan.
Instead, he's got a bit of a baptism by fire.
Well, if you're Adam New and you're looking up at him, you're going, oh, he's not a right back. I'll have a go at him all afternoon. Howe goes across.
A fly, Russ.
Straight down the throat. Here's Truman. Couldn't find the ball into the area. Ahmed Shaibu was the target. Harrison Bunell at the back, who's had a good first season for Tuggeranong United.
He seems wise beyond his years, very composed on the ball, doesn't he, when he's been pressed? Always finds a decent pass.
Peterkin forced back to his goalkeeper. Wiseman shovels it forward. Rosebakken. Dahl. Firm challenge, Doherty, and it falls nicely for Slavic, who tries to send it for Doherty to chase, and Jenkins comes across. Last season here, Panthers did win the league fixture 4-1. Sam Smith opened the scoring that day as well. Adam Nia was on target with the fourth goal. Nico Kalfas and Josh Gillespie, the other two for the Panthers. Isose Heggie in the last minute for Tuggeranong consolation. Nothing more on that occasion. Slavic on the turn, fires one goalwards, something for Evan Alexander Ridley to do. Better from Tuggeranong in the attacking third.
Just a shame that the strike was hit straight at him, straight into the breadbasket instead of properly challenging Alexander Ridley in goals. But as you said, a better movement from Tuggeranong in that final third. Quicker passes and finding space at the edge of the box.
Dahl. Jenkins. Guys asking why there was no push from Chirek to help him out. Eli Howe gets an easy out for the Panthers. Cashman. Howe steps away from Chirek. Looks for Ahmed Shaibu. Harrison Bunell back there defending again. Coggan lifts it forward towards Truman. Nick Dahl takes it in his stride. Smith, the goal scorer. Rosebakken. Tuggeranong pressing now and getting the ball back with Truman. Chirek. Gaia. Slavic into the penalty area. Daramy across with the defensive effort and leans into the forward, and Slavic stays down in a heap behind the goal.
Grabbed his ankle as he fell to the ground, so...
Did he twist something perhaps?
Didn't seem any contact. It just seemed like he just rolled his ankle, I think.
Did he run into the fence? Not sure, but he's still down out of your picture.
Because he's off the pitch, the game continues on.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Andrew Slavic from this distance. Sliding challenge from Doherty. Ball breaks kindly for Tuggeranong, for Harry Truman. Looks for Gaia. Panthers have a man down in midfield as well now as it's into the penalty. A real chance for Coggan from fullback. In his more natural position, denied by Alexandra Ridley. Howe's down in the middle of the park as well. Meanwhile, Ahmed Shaibu has got away from Regan Walsh, who comes snapping back into it and wins the ball. Good challenge from him. It's all happening.
Just end to end, isn't it? This is what we're hoping for in a match like this. Just an open fixture, and no side seems content to play with the ball in the midfield. Just launch the ball forward.
Felici back to Wiseman. Meanwhile, Slavic is back on his feet and on the field at the far ends. Keep an eye on how he's moving. Wiseman sliced that. Guy is there, who's been fouled, and a yellow card. Was that for Cashman or for Bassa Silk?
Bassa Silk.
Took my eye off it momentarily as Slavic came on and then had to go back off again because he just came on of his own accord, which you can't do, of course. Ben Bassa Silk picks up his third yellow card of the season, first in the final series. Slavic does rejoin us for the second time. Calmed down somewhat since that breathless opening first 10 minutes when Panthers could well have been 3-0 up.
There's still chances for both sides, which is obviously saw Eddie Coggan break forward and have a chance there, and Ahmed Shaibu had a chance, but it was snuffed out by Tuggeranong. So there's opportunities here for both sides.
Peterkin keeps it in play, or does he? No, he doesn't, says the match referee Bruno Kell. He's jogged off his little fall as well. 26 minutes gone, live on Bar TV Sports. It's Tuggeranong United 0, Monaro Panthers 1. Sam Smith's goal in the 3rd minute in the bottom 4 final series. Match 2. Match 1 ending 1-1 between Woden Western and Canberra Olympic. All the finals action brought to you by Bar TV. Royce Barkin. Thumping challenge from Marco Gaia. And he's won his side to throw as well. No quarter asked in that one.
A few words exchanged between the two players as well. Just let him know that he's there.
And that is a foul throw by Daniel Felici. Unforgivable. With a fine system in place, he'll be copping one for that. Wes Barkham shows him how to do it. Ahmed Shaibu won the flick on. Bunel volleys it clear. Comes back to Smith. Walsh sends it forward. Slavic with Rosebarken. Peterkin. Slavic. Assessing the options. Well, he's only picked out Bassa Silk, who in turn left it a bit short for Ahmed Shaibu. It's scrappy in the last 5 minutes.
Had an opportunity there to find Neo, who's had plenty of space in front of him out wide. There was that sloppy play in the middle of the park here that just snuffed out any opportunity to push the ball forward, but here's a chance.
Yeah, better ball from Jenkins to Dahl, who swings it across field. Bassa Silk retrieves the situation for the Panthers. Skips past Truman, fires it across goal as well. There was no one there. Well, pace on the ball. Dahl with Peterkin. Decent knock that by Ben Bassa Silk. And Smith's run that one out of play. Jimmy Canarides continues to be stood over this side. We'll bring you some WNPL scores in a bit. I'll let you know what's going over there in the 2 matches. Canberra Croatia versus Tuggeranong United and Gungahlin United against Wagga City Wanderers. Walsh at the back for Tuggeranong could bring it forwards. Bunel finds Doherty. Walsh forced to go backwards. And Jacob Weitzman's been a busy man in the opening half an hour. He's had plenty to do with the ball at his feet. Doherty again, the press from the Panthers as Walsh is forced to bring Wiseman into it again.
In the NPLW scores, it's Gungahlin up 3-1 against Wagga, who just scored from the penalty spot at Deakin Stadium. The game between Canberra Croatia and Tuggeranong United ended in a 4-0 win to the home side. And
Is that enough to give them the WNPL League Championship?
It sure is.
Canberra Croatia NPL Championship double in the men's and women's. What breaks Belcon United's long-held dominance?
You're the stats man, Russ. When was the last time that happened, do you think?
Oh, about 1820, I think. Anthony Jagorinic in charge. Felt like about 100 years that Belcon won everything. Top of my head, I can't remember. It must be a long, long time, though.
Belcon United in the men's haven't finished top in a while?
Not in a while either, no. Coggan on the turn. I'm sure if Anthony Jagorinic was watching, he could tell me. I think it was about 10 years or something like that they've won the minor premiership, as they call it here. League Championship.
They were going to go for the 11th, I think, this year.
It's out the window now. Nick Brosnich and his team can celebrate him being top of the pile with a round to spare. Gaia sends it forward to Slavic. Brings it into his control nicely. Peterkin outside. Can he deliver left-footed into the area? It's come off the knee of Jenkins. Guy is there for Tuggeranong. Smith, though, read his intentions and robs him of the ball. Walsh. Doherty in space. Coggan out wide, looking to give Daramy trouble, and Osman Daramy wins a free kick. He's defended very well the last few weeks, Osman Daramy, and he started off today in exactly the same vein.
He's had a terrific game. Savani's also provided the assist for the first goal. Speaking on the opposite end of Eddie Coggan, where Daramy seems to time his runs quite well going forward and overlapped well on Coggan's side, and as I said, assisted Seth Smith for the opener and has won plenty of challenges against Coggan on the defensive end as well.
Howe finds Daramy. His touch this time is picked off by Doherty, who comes hammering into the challenge. Won the ball according to the officials, and there's a bit of a fight off the ball as well. You can't see it as the game carries on. I think Doherty's involved with Osman Daramy. There was some handbags at 20 paces there.
Honestly, I thought Daramy actually kicked out at Doherty early on, and Doherty responded by pushing him.
Well, Bruno Kell...
That's originally what I thought, first glance.
Well, I was watching the action. Well, Bruno Kell is going across to chat to Nathan Shakespeare. Will there be censure and sanction for either of these players? It all stemmed from Doherty's robust challenge on Daramy, which Bruno Kell deemed legal. Let's see what the outcome is. He's got the two protagonists, Doherty and Daramy. Will they both get a card, or will they just get a talking to? Bruno Kell just explaining the situation, asking them to calm down a bit. I think he's handling this quite well. I think they're both going to walk away from it with nothing. A little bit of a tap on the hands as well. Much ado about nothing in the end.
Just took offence at it, as you said, as a very strong, robust challenge. But nothing in that. Game moves on now.
Well, it didn't look like there was anything in the challenge. It was just a very firm tackle, wasn't it?
One all ball and cleaned up the man.
And you said you might have thought there was a little bit of a flick out from Daramy. We saw it down here with Mark O'Gara and Sam Rosebakken as well. There was a little bit of heftiness to the challenge, let's say.
These two sides aren't playing like it's the bottom four, are they?
Well, they're not, no. It's good to see. Slavic finds Walsh. Doherty in midfield. Churek. Bunel. Slavic. Nicely worked, Tuggeranong. Gaia up against Jenkins, who wins the battle of the strength there. Rosebakken for Monaro. Under pressure by Churek. Jenkins happy to get rid of it. Walsh. Tuggeranong coming more into the game now. Coggan. Picked off by Howe. Not much ahead of him. Neo. Rather scuffs that one through towards Smith. Felici launches it forward. Plenty of time for Jenkins, though, to tidy up.
Well, as you said, it does seem like Tuggeranong United have just finally worked themselves into the game. Maybe it did require a couple of players throwing their bodies in the line and making a few rough challenges to wake the full squad up and say, hey, boys, we're in this battle. Let's go out and win it.
Credit to them. They were both full-blooded challenges as well, and all ball.
That's what you want from two of your leaders, right? To get the boys around you and actually switch on and start this match again.
Jenkins. Cashman in midfield. Looked for Neo. Walsh with the clearance. Gaia hooks it forward. Jenkins again. More measured this time to Ahmed Shaibu. Plays a 1-2 with himself via Harrison Bunel, and then looked for Neo and just overhit it.
He's furious with himself there. Had an opportunity to slide a nice through ball to Neo, but he's overhit that one.
Into the final 10 minutes of an open first half, in which all the chances, the real ones, came in the first 10 minutes. Tuggeranong woodwork pummeled twice by Ahmed Shaibu and Adam Neo to go with the well-created goal taken by Sam Smith in only the 3rd minute. Bunel treads on the ball and Ahmed Shaibu has it. Crossfield ball finds New. And Bassa Silks there, tried to flick it back into the path of the winger. It's good intent though from the Panthers. It's lively, it's fast. It's played in the right parts of the field as well. Cashman tried to get it wide to Daramy. It makes its way there via Bassa Silk, but not in a manner in which Daramy can keep it in play. They've looked sharp and lively, the Panthers, throughout the opening half.
It's been a good start for them. I think it's the start that Jimmy Canary just wanted in the opening 45 minutes. Decided that grabbed a 0-0 draw last time here.
Well, as Lachlan Roberts said, it doesn't feel like a game between two sides playing in the bottom four. Feels like there's a lot more on it.
I think it's two sides that really fancy themselves as top four hopefuls, and Tuggeranong United were moments away, minutes away from being one of those top four sides. So,
well, the Panthers bottom of the pile. They did only finish 4 points off the top, of course, the top four. But for a couple of wins here and there, they would have been in the top four themselves. That's a foul by Osman Daramy on Harry Truman.
He's walking a fine line there, Daramy, after already having a stern talking to. Next one, he'll definitely get a yellow card, you'd think.
Doherty over the free kick. 7 minutes to the break. Goes short to Bunell. Doherty. Felici helps it on its way to Peterkin. Guyer's made the run. And that's come off Jenkins, and Tuggeranong have a corner and a chance for them from the set piece.
They scored from a set piece last time they played the Panthers.
It was a well worked one from a free kick. They've gone short. Slavic has been clattered by Sam Rosebarken, and it'll be a free kick, similar to a corner but just a bit further infield. Caught the Panthers napping with that one. Cam Doherty has come across. Slavic is there too. Discussion between the Tuggeranong players as to who's going to take this free kick. Cam Doherty has been entrusted with the responsibility. It's gone short to Slavic from the angle. I'm not sure whether he picked out Coggan on purpose. Coggan drives it goalwards. Well, if that was a pass from Slavic, it was well disguised. Walsh lifts it forward. Daramy wins the header. Dahl. Ahmed Shaibu takes it down nicely and then goes for something spectacular. Didn't come off, fair to say. Can't fault the ambition. Been talking about that for a while if it dropped in.
They stayed inside the stadium. That's a start.
Well, this is the place to try that, I guess, in the bottom four final series. Smith has it. Near. Doherty. Cashman blocked his intended forward pass. Walsh finds Geyer, who was the intended recipient of that pass. Howe nods it down to Daramy. Ahmed Shaibu. All the way home to Evan Alexandra Ridley. Dahl. Cashman. Evan Alexander Ridley, of course, one of only a few players in Canberra, the NPL, to have ever played in a major European qualifier. Part of the FK Sudova squad that played against Celtic in the Champions League qualifier.
2 Canberrans in that squad, along with Tommy Rodgick.
And the opposite side, Verena Rhinos had a pair of Estonians that played in Europa League qualifying games, Artur Rittel and Erkki Junalainen. They played in the Europa League for their team in Estonia. Select band. Tuggeranong with a free kick. 2 minutes, or 3 minutes rather, to half time. Can they find a way through? Swung in towards Churek. It's come off Cashman, nodded goalwards by Gaia, but lacked the power to beat Alexandra Ridley.
It's a good chance there. That had a fall a bit kinder to Tuggeranong.
Smith hooked it forward, looking for Neo. Direction was slightly off. Wiseman sends it forwards. Rosbakken forced back towards his own goal, but shields it nicely out of play. Reminder that next week, top 4 final series continues. Belconnen versus Tigers FC, Canberra Croatia versus Gungahlin United, both at Deakin Stadium, live exclusive on Bar TV from 1:30 next Saturday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, bottom 4 final series continues at the Riverside Stadium. Wellington Western versus Monaro Panthers, Tuggeranong United versus Canberra Olympic. As we stand, Panthers will go into that top 4 bottom four final series, I should say, on 3 points and top of the pile. Unless something happens in the next 45 minutes, plus stoppage time in this first half as well. Long way to go. Gaia manages to wriggle his way down the touchline, looking for some room. Wasn't much to play with. Churek tried to cross. Coggan back to Churek. Forced to come all the way back into midfield to Doherty, who spreads the play to Felici. Peterkin. Bunel. Doherty. Can Tuggeranong find a way through before the interval? They've got another minute to do so, and they have a corner and a chance to flood the penalty area. Everybody's gone forward here apart from Walsh and Coggan. They've gone short again though, and Slavic is bundled over by Cashman. Free kick. Different kind of angle now.
This is a better angle to swing into the box. Let's see who stands with the ball.
Slavic is over it. Again. Doherty's there as well, as he normally is. And Andrew Slavic may well have given responsibility up to Cam Doherty again.
It's a bit of a coach killer, isn't it, when twice they play short corners and twice Monaro Panthers give away free kicks.
Doherty steps away from it. It will be Slavic. Swings it into the far post. Good one too, and the header from Churek. Again, a good chance for Tuggeranong United. Goes begging.
It's a better ball into the box, isn't it? Just inviting one of your teammates to get their head on the ball and guide it on target, but Churek couldn't do it at this chance. But
the aerial route's been Tuggeranong's best chances so far. Slavic and Churek both nodded over from good positions. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first 45 minutes. An entertaining 45 minutes. Rosbakken wins a throw. Neo towards Bassasilk. Ahmed Shaibu flags up offside against the forwards. Mitch Stevens would be quite happy the way his side responded to that first 10 minutes when, but for a crossbar in the post, it would have been a lot worse.
The game was nearly out of reach inside the first 10 minutes if Monaro Panthers had taken their chances. So he'd be happy that his side are within touching distance and still have 45 minutes to get themselves back in the game. Just be furious with the first 10-15 minutes and the fact that they considered early.
Churek won the header. No one gambled on him doing so. Smith, a little flick to Rosebach and can't keep it in play. Played a minute of time added on. There's a bit of a blood injury here, is there? Jenkins, a little bit of claret coming out the nose. So Bruno Kell says that'll do us for the half then. To wait to end the half. And a good one too. Panthers leading with that goal from Sam Smith, but it was entertaining 45 minutes, Lachlan.
Yeah, fantastic first 45 minutes. As we mentioned, there was plenty of opportunities for both sides in that first 10-15 minutes to open the scoring. But exciting second half to come.
Sam Smith's goal after 3 minutes, giving the Panthers the initiative. After that, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu may have made it 2, but he hit the post. Adam Neal might have made it 2, but he hit the bar. Tuggeranong living on the edge in the opening 10 minutes of the encounter. As it is to go into the break, not that far behind. The one goal separating the two sides of the Riverside Stadium. It's Tuggeranong United 0, Monaro Panthers 1. Welcome back to the Riverside Stadium, where the weather's got a bit cooler. Managed to put my jacket on when I'm in short sleeves earlier this morning. It's the second half of the NPL Capital Football Final Series bottom four. We'll get there eventually in getting the naming convention correctly. And at half-time, it's the Panthers leading Tuggeranong United 1-0. Sam Smith with the early goal, and they've hit the woodwork twice as well. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator. Joining me for the second half is Lachlan Roberts. Ian Worthington's up here on the commentary gantry as well. Bolton's finest. He's come to have a quick chat with us. How are you feeling, Ian?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Nice of you to pop up here. I think you came up for the food, but there was none left, was there?
No, it's all gone. We usually get well looked after up at the Riverside and by Monaro Panthers, but unfortunately today, no food.
What was your take on the first half here? It's a difficult one in the bottom four series, isn't it, to motivate your players for this kind of atmosphere and this kind of tournament?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think both teams have moved the ball pretty well. Intensity was a little bit off, but at the same time, chances for both teams. In particular, Monaro Panthers hitting the crossbar and hitting the post.
Yeah, they'll want a bit more accuracy in the second half. What have you been up to this season? You got a bit of stuff going on as well yourself, in and around?
Yeah, it's been an exciting year in the junior NPL. Bradford College are absolutely thriving with their programme at the moment, bringing in some good players and within the school. Yeah, but as we start the second half, let's hope for more goals.
Thanks very much, Ian, for popping in. Lachlan Roberts is with me as usual for the second 45. And we echo Ian's comments. We just like a few more goals, mate.
We thought it was going to be a bit of a goal fest inside the opening 10 minutes, but still only one on the scoreboard. Hope for a couple more in the second half.
Good one, though. Sam Smith's goal. Lovely build-up. Osman Darmi's ball in and a great dummy from Lukman Ahmed Shaibu. That's a bit loose at the start of the second half from Slavic. Coggan playing in that full-back role. Grown into it defensively, and he's probably had a really good chance in the first half as well, didn't he? Forced a save from Alexander Ridley.
He got caught out a few times, just mistiming his run and being out of position, but as you said, he had a chance as well to push forwards. To me, that's what Mitch Stevens likes in him.
Near running at Regan Walsh and putting it across goal. Bunell defended well, and Doherty helped him out as well. There you go. There's an example of Coggan was drawn forward, and they utilised the space he left behind.
As you said, when you've got a striker playing as a right back, the opposition will definitely be targeting you. So he's had a bit of a baptism by fire, but he's hopefully just grows in confidence.
Cashman came across to volley it clear. Canberra, Croatia in the women's NPL won 4-0. Grace Gill and Brittany Pullenby with a brace. Pullenby's goals in the second half. That secures the WNPL League Championship for Nick Brosnich and his team. Tuggeranong on the attack with Chirek. Jenkins across with the tackle. There is Chirek flicking it forward. Hooked clear. Peterkin nodded it down without really looking. Fortunately for him, he had Felici in support. Doherty's off on a run here. Looking to take on Jenkins. Good run this Cam Doherty into the penalty area. Pulls it back. Coggan up from right back. Can he strike this goal as he can, but can't keep it down. Better start to the second half for Tuggeranong United.
And a chance there for Eddie Coggan, as you mentioned early in the call, finding space and up forward, overlapping run, and had a chance to put that shot on target, but failed to do so.
Someone's not started the scoreboard for the second half. Who's on that?
He shall remain nameless. In his defence, apparently the start button actually doesn't start the clock.
Doesn't seem to be working, does it? Peterkin flicks it on. Neo back. Gaia has it. Peterkin slides it through. Daramy. Doherty's forced Felici wide. He's done well to keep it in. And he's left a foot in on Ahmed Shaibu. Neo has it. Truman finds Walsh. Bunau brings it forward. Bitty start to this second half. Truman for Tuggeranong United. Can't find Coggan. Gets it back though. Playing a bit deeper, Harry Truman, than what we may have expected.
Maybe in this the bottom four final series gives both coaches a chance to try a few different positions for their players and a few different tactics.
He's dropped in now that Coggan's moved into a more advanced role for the time being at least. Truman given the right back responsibilities. Peterkin. Walsh. Doherty. Gaia. Well, Tuggeranong have certainly started the second half with more possession. Gaia brings it down, probably about 80%'s worth.
That better not have been a subtle dig at my almost correct call in the first half, Russ.
Wasn't very subtle, I didn't think. Complete opposite, to be perfectly honest.
I can guarantee that I will bring more possession stats throughout the rest of the call.
Bunel at the back for Tuggeranong. Finds Regan Walsh. Can't find the forward pass because Cashman was in midfield. Nick Dahl. Ahmed Shaibu. Cashman goes wide. Rosebakken. First time we've seen the Panthers an attacking force in the second half, and Sam Rosebakken continued his run into the penalty area. He's managed to pull it back. Coggan does his defensive duties and does it well. And he's found Gaia as well. It's Tuggeranong's turn to spring forward on the attack with Slavic. Or with Felici, I should say. My apologies.
Cashman did really well to track back hard when Tuggeranong had an opportunity to break and just slow Tuggeranong United down and eventually snuffed out any danger of going forward, and they had to start from the back again.
Wiseman clips it out wide to Felici. Trying to free. There's a bit of coming together off the ball again. Meanwhile, Smith has got in goal side, but the flag is up. Straight Jaws atmosphere around here, isn't there? There's not many people in the ground, of course, as there's not allowed to be. So 1 ticket per player. Is that right?
Trying to keep the attendance to 200 max, so that includes the players throughout the day. So it might turn out to be, I think the club's got given 50 tickets each. And that includes the players and the coaching staff. And so yeah, it does turn out to be a player and a coaching staff bring one family member each, or they can allocate those tickets to whoever they see fit.
Makes for a strange kind of atmosphere for a final series, doesn't it? Doherty out on the left wing. Unprecedented times, unprecedented final series for the bottom four. Giving some game time to these boys in any respect. It's a corner for Tuggeranong United. Chance for Harrison Bunel to jog forward and join the attack. One of 4 Tuggeranong United shirts in the penalty area. Truman, Peterkin and Chirek the others. Now it all depends on the delivery. Plenty back from the Panthers. Everybody in black and green back there. Bassa Silk won the header. Felici picks up the loose ball, but loses out to Ahmed Shaibu. Now can they spring something forward here? Adam New tried to squeeze it between the legs of Walsh. Finds Smith. Back to New. Ahmed Shaibu arriving in the penalty area now, but that's overhit. And Coggan can bring it away for Tuggeranong. Promising break came to nothing.
Just looking there for that final pass to cut back to Sam Smith, so he had an opportunity to go straight at Wiseman, but it's well defended by Tuggeranong,
who've arguably settled into the second half better than the Panthers, who started the first half in an absolute flyer. Here's Smith looking to slide it through to Adam Neal. Real chance here on the left foot, and that's a super block by Harrison Bunell. Opened up for Adam Neal.
that left foot strike looked destined to find the back of the net, and just a great covering challenge from Brunel. Is, as you said, is a terrific 2020 season.
Yeah, the teenager making sure that Jacob Wiseman had nothing to do in the goal. Corner kick, though, for the Panthers. Their turn to throw numbers forward towards the far post. One on the far post by Jenkins, and couldn't direct it on goal. Decent chance.
Jimmy's found himself back into the technical area, and you can hear him shouting from across the field. He wasn't happy that they didn't take advantage of that opportunity there, the Panthers, and no one gambled on the second header.
Yeah, now the shadows are coming to this part of the field. He's found himself in the sunshine in the Panthers bench. Doherty, Slavic, Bunel, wide to Felici. Has run into trouble here, and Ahmed Shaibu's dummy has managed to recover it and won his team a free kick. Thought he'd run himself into trouble there, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu. 3 goals this season.
That's a couple of times that Felici has just run himself into trouble, and instead of passing the ball early and started to take on a play, hasn't worked out for the young left back.
Osman Daramy is coming off here. And this is Ed McCarthy to replace him. Interesting change. McCarthy's going to come across into this fullback position. Early change in the start of the second half. Ahmed Shaibu back to goal, looking to force his way through, but Doherty was back doing the defensive work for Tuggeranong. Wonder if Daramy copped a knock there, or whether that's tactical.
He had a blinder first half, didn't he, Daramy? And assisted the only goal of the game.
He's stretching something out of your picture at the moment on the touchline, so maybe he picked up a little tweak. Panthers back in action, of course, here next week. The 1:30 kickoff time against Woden Western FC, who rescued a point against Canberra Olympic earlier today. Canberra Olympic now gone 5 without a win. Got decent odds on that at the start of the season, wouldn't you? The last year's league champions.
It was a very young, inexperienced side out here this afternoon, wasn't it? Quite a few under-23s played in that game.
Cashman finds Bassa Silk. Ball pings its way through to Ahmed Shaibu. Dahl brings Rosebarken into it. Crossfield ball, it's got Wiseman backpedaling, and he's kept it in play only as far as Smith. Luckily for Jacob Wiseman, as Adam Neal is lining it up, the official on the far side, Nathan Shakespeare, decides that it gone out of play.
Nervy moments for Wiseman, wasn't it? Just didn't let the ball drop out for a goal kick, and the ball fell kind of to Sam Smith, who's in an offside position.
It was offside, yeah, it certainly was. The late flag, wasn't it? But a warning for Tuggeranong. Bunel. Doherty. Slides it forward looking for Coggan. Dahl in midfield. Steps away from Doherty. forces his way through a second challenge. That's a nice bit of football here. And here's Ahmed Shaibu. And Regan Walsh had to make the challenge because Ben Basser-Silk and Adam Neer were unmarked in the middle.
There was three Monaro Panthers players on one Tuggeranong United defender. Just inexplicable, almost. But we've seen that happen in the first half as well. Just the back line gone a bit AWOL and plenty of opportunities for Panthers. But somehow they've won a goal kick out of the situation.
Must have come off Ahmed Shaibu. Cam Doherty was on his haunches momentarily for Tuggeranong. He seems to be better now, though. Gaia. Walsh. And Wiseman clips it forward. McCarthy's first involvement is a firm, meaty header forward. Peterkin playing it the wrong way. He's played Walsh into trouble. Churek's back to help out. Bunell, who's had plenty of touches this afternoon. Mitch Stevens will be happy with the way his side has started the second half in the main. Peterkin with some space. Good ball flick from Gaia. Real opportunity here for Slavic, who tries one goalwards. Was digging it out from under his feet and couldn't get the loft to beat Alexandra Ridley.
As he said, the ball's just stuck under his feet. He couldn't get any real power into his shot, and it just was almost chipped straight to the hands of Alexandra Ridley.
10 minutes gone in the second half. Or just a little bit over. Truman's flick forward. It's still Sam Smith's goal that divides these two. Coggan comes away with it. And Eli Howe was all over that attempted through ball. Basser-Silk, Ahmed Shaibu, Dahl, McCarthy. It's asking a fair bit of Rosebarken. Well, the chase is on, but Jenkins has had the best chance of the second half with that header for the Panthers. Dahl looks to flick that one over the top. And Garland United women have won 3-1 against Wagga. Ella Rose Brown, Jade Brown and Tiana Miro with the goals. Megan Castle on target for Wagga City. Can Garland secure a top 4 spot as well in the WMPL? One other match in that competition this afternoon, Canberra United Academy against Tuggeranong United. The men's team in action here, looking for an equaliser. Marco Gaia out on that left flank, looking to find a way through past Sam Rosebarken, who is having none of that. Flurry of action at the start of the second half, but since then it's got a bit scrappy again, Lachlan.
It's definitely in a lull at the moment, isn't it? As both sides just struggle to find any momentum going forward.
Opens up for Slavic, who tries one. Can wrap his foot around that, and that's out into the trees behind the goal here at the Riverside Stadium, where we're watching bottom 4 finals football live on Bar TV Sports, and a great job that the production crew of Bar TV have done again this season. All the finals action, top 4, bottom 4, live on YouTube and Facebook, however you want to stream it. Certainly added something to football in Canberra, isn't it? The ability to be able to watch every single game.
Especially in a season where it has been disrupted through the coronavirus and limited spectators. You can just watch the game from the comfort of your home.
Slavic steps in field. Stepped into trouble. Sliding challenge from Peterkin against Smith, who's come away with it and then asked a bit too much about him near. Walsh. Can Tuggeranong find the grit and the determination that saw them push Canberra Cresher all the way last week at Deakin Stadium? Truman Coggan inside the penalty area. Chance for him to pull it back towards Slavic. Cashman got a despairing leg in the way. Just enough. And Ahmed Shaibu, well, you can see what was in his mind. Just get it as far away from his goal as he possibly can.
Well, this game has struggled for goals. Canberra United Academy in the NPLW match are up 5-0 against Monaro Panthers at Hawker Football Centre. That match is also live on Capital Football YouTube page.
Plenty of goals there. Monaro Panthers, WNPL, shipping a few in the last few weeks. They'll hope to solidify that a little bit in the second half. Jacob Wiseman in possession. Going to see a change here for Tuggeranong United. Sam Smith coming on. And he'll drop into the defensive position. A little bit of change in the defence for Tuggeranong then. Eddie Coggan will move into a more familiar role for him.
Surely he's fairly relieved about that situation, going back to where he's more comfortable.
Let's see if he can get involved as a striker as well. That was his first touch up front and he's lost possession. Into the 66th minute of the match. Still Sam Smith's goal. We thought we might get plenty after that early one. It promises somewhat floundered since then. Just a mention of Andrew Slavic, who's gone off. Showed big good courage last week coming up for the penalty, didn't he? And responded well to missing that opportunity. We'll come back to that in a moment as Smith is off and running. And he had a couple of good half chances today, including that header early on.
Lots of players have dropped their head after missing a penalty, and these were frog in my throat.
You got the same fly that got me earlier on.
It survived yours, did it?
Seems to.
I was saying that Slavic just works tirelessly up front, and missed his penalty there last weekend against Canberra Croatia, and that goal would have seen them finish inside the top four. So, but can't let his head drop, and he's done his job here.
Got through a good 65 minutes worth of work. Be back here again next week, of course, taking on Canberra Olympic. Wiseman and Walsh exchanging passes. Doherty swings it forward. Truman got it under control, but then ran into Aaron Cashman. And Dahl decides to tidy up back to his goalkeeper. Not a good clearance from Alexandro Ridley, though. He's only found Eddie Coggan. Peterkin outside. Coggan goes for the return. Eli Howe's across, defending, and can complete the clearance calmly. Ahmed Shaibu and Bassa Silk. It's nicely done. Still going Ahmed Shaibu, and then was going to win a free kick for a foul by Felici.
That was beautifully done by Monaro Panthers, working out from a difficult defensive position. Beautiful composure by Howe, and then by Lukman Ahmed Shaibu.
McCarthy over the free kick initially, and then walks away. Eli Howe finds Jenkins. Howe. I mentioned that Tuggeranong did miss a spot kick last week. Their last successful penalty was back in round 13 last year. Regan Walsh was on the spot that day against Canberra Olympic O'Connor. He also missed one as well, if I remember rightly, in the same game. Tuggeranong lead the series 9 wins to 5 in the 16 matches played before today, 29 goals to 24. Traditionally not much between them in terms of results. Usually a goal either way. Touch from Ahmed Shaibu, who's opened up here for Smith, who drives one goalwards and it struck the post again. It's come out to New. And for the third time in the match, the Panthers are denied by the woodwork.
That's a beautiful play there between Ahmed Shaibu and Smith, who's...
Rose bucket. Ahmed Shaibu went for the spectacular. Another cracking drive though. Gaia slides it in towards Coggan. He was caught late as well by Howe. There's going to be a card here, you'd think. Coggan wants to take full advantage into the penalty area, all by his lonesome at the moment. Peterkin looks for Churek. Kept it in play. Panthers thought that Churek was offside. Officials on this side, Curtis Schaefer, didn't agree. Jimmy Canarides and his team will look back at this if they don't get the 3 points and wonder how.
It just goes back to that bad luck they've had throughout this season. They've had opportunities to take some wins and they've failed to do so, and this is, if they don't grab all 3 points here, it'd be very disappointing for the Panthers.
Well, Smith absolutely rocketed that shot goalwards. Off the post is Coggan. Nice turn. Looks for Peterkin. Tuggeranong threatening. Felici. Peterkin swings it into the near post, but harmless enough. You must wonder what they've done not to be further ahead. Wiseman beaten 3 times, saved by the frame of his goal. Jenkins can bring it forward. From a United point of view, you might well think, well, luck's on our side here. Push forward and try and grab that unlikely equaliser. Neo chasing. He's got the better of Felici. Adam Neo. And Felici wins it back though. Strong defending. So Lukman Ahmed Shaibu, Adam Neo, Sam Smith, all hitting the woodwork. Wonder who's next to try their luck. Midway through the second half, of course. At 20 minutes, or just under 20 minutes to go. Sam Smith's 3rd minute opener. Feels a long time ago now.
The game has gone in patches of both sides just content with the result almost, and then there's a flurry of chances. So still plenty of goals, hopefully, in this one.
I don't think we've seen the last of the chances, that's for certain. Be interesting to see how they approach the final 20 minutes here. Both sides, whether Tuggeranong will push on looking for a goal. You'd think they would.
Nothing to lose, almost.
Truman wide. Does well. Swings it into the area, and it's a volley away from Howe, and it's found its way to Ahmed Shaibu. You can stretch his legs. Caught by Coggan. No doing, says Bruno Kell. Smith rolls the ball to Doherty. Deflection takes in the path of Peterkin, lifts it forward. Churek is interested. Jenkins with the defensive work. Tuggeranong starting to push forward here, Lachlan. Looking like they might be in with a chance.
They see that there's only less than 20 minutes to go on the clock. They have to start taking the opportunities now and start building towards a chance. I remember the last time they had a decent chance on target. It feels like it's been quite some time.
Yeah, weight of possession going back their way. Better in territory as well. Yet to really test Alexandra Ridley. They might just now. Almost fell for Truman. Cashman volleyed it away. Smith's got a long time to assess his options. Decides the best of them is to pass all the way back to Wiseman. Bunell. Tackled by his own player, Cam Doherty.
Doherty loves to tackle in the midfield, doesn't he? Just wants to get the ball.
Not sure tackling his own player is a good option though. Smith lifts it forward. Coggan tries to flick it on. Well, the longer it stays 1-0, the longer Tuggeranong will feel that they've got an outside chance of nicking a point. If they did, we'll be all back to where we were at the start of the day. None the wiser. Everybody will be on a point. Everybody's goal difference will be the same and goals scored. Ahmed Shaibu looking to change all of that, so the flag is up against the American. There's not been much in any of the games really, has there? There was the Canberra-Croatia, of course, fairly serene in their progress with a 3-0 win. Once Julian Borgner had been sent off yesterday, there was little doubt that Canberra-Croatia were going to win that contest. But Belcon and Gungahlin, 2 apiece. And in the bottom 4 finals, 1-1 between Woden and Canberra Olympic here. And 1-0 here.
There's an injury-ravaged side, the Tigers, just the walking wounded. They were playing quite a few under-23s in their squad against Canberra-Croatia. It was a fairly routine 3-0 win that Dieter Grunic was not pleased with. Felt like it should have been more.
Well, Ryan Grogan, as you said, his side struggling with injuries. Mark Shields was carrying a knock at the end of that. I saw him in the car park yesterday. He was limping. Alex Olorigby with a hip injury as well. Looked like he was struggling towards the end of that game. Jared Tanini's hamstring precluded him taking part. Rocco Strucker's broken wrist. There's a catalogue of injuries. Sam Whittier pulled his groin playing with the family during the week, apparently.
All those players you'd see on the starting 11 for Grogan's side.
He'll hope to have a good week at training this week and be able to nurse some of his players back to health ahead of their clash with Belconnor next weekend. Of course, in this 3-game final series, that first defeat isn't the end of the world for them if they can pick up 3 points next week. But Belconnor United will be looking at thinking, well, hang on, we could be on 4 points come this time next weekend.
Especially after their result on the weekend against Gungahlin, the 2-2 draw, where they felt like they probably should have taken those opportunities they had. Besides, they was thwarted by a inspirational Laguda performance in goals. And
some poor finishing as well. Flores missed an absolute sitter. Scored again though, for the 6th time this campaign. So he knows where the net is. Can we find someone to add to the tally here? Dahl finds Smith. Couldn't get it under control. Howe can at the back. McCarthy. Howe. Chirek putting him under pressure. Coggan in there as well, and the flag's gone up. Curtis Schaefer saw something amiss.
I think it was a handball there by Chirek.
13 minutes to play. Wonder if there'll be many more changes as well. James Driscoll, Mitch Jervis-Hamilton and Patrick Mitchell on the bench for the Panthers. Mitchell in line for a debut if he gets on the field. Van Nguyen, the only outfield player left for Tuggeranong. James Benaventu, the goalkeeper. Went with a short bench today, Mitch Stevens, because his under-23s all played at 9 o'clock this morning.
You see Fulton in the grandstand over here.
He's injured. It's difficult to ask the under-23s to back up after having played 9 o'clock this morning.
After he's cooled down, gone home, had a shower.
And then come back for a 3:45 kickoff when you might not get back on till 5 o'clock or so. So Mitch Stevens chose not to include any of them today. Panthers, of course, were also in action in 23s yesterday. Went down 2-1 to Belconnor United in the under-23s top 4 final series. Canberra Olympic beating Canberra Croatia 1-0 in the other game played in that competition yesterday. Free kick to Tuggeranong. Doherty over it, left-footed, lifts it into the penalty area. A couple of players jump for it. It's fallen as far as Coggan. Thought about the hit. Still going, Coggan. Into the area. Felici lifts into the box. Bunel got there. It's come for Turek and momentarily opens up and couldn't get it under control, Jono Turek, and Jenkins is happy to concede the corner.
If the ball had fallen more kindly to him, found him one-on-one with Alexandra Ridley. Chance there.
Yeah, Doherty with a chance to lift this into the area. Tuggeranong committed lots into the attack here. Panthers have everybody back inside the box. Walsh has gone for a short one.
They have played it short quite a few times in the first half.
It's not going to happen on this occasion, though. Doherty's going to try and pick out one of his targets in the middle. Lots of movement towards the far post, swung in towards Bunel, who was just caught flat-footed. Well, perhaps gives you an indication that Tuggeranong prepared to throw everybody into that attack, bar two. Benbassa Silk's coming off. James Driscoll is coming on for his third first-team appearance. Bassa Silk, who scored in the 1-1 draw here. Tuggeranong United making the change as well. Antonio Felici's come off, and Van Nieuwen comes on. Van Nieuwen was a story that we mentioned in the Canberra Olympic game earlier this season. He just really works so hard for Tuggeranong United, and he really wanted to just make one first-team appearance, and he got his run off the bench against Olympic, and he's got another run today. Doubled his NPL appearances, the fullback. I'm sure he'll give Mitch Stevens a good last 10 minutes, plus stoppage time. Is there a way back into this for Tuggeranong United, or can Monaro Panthers see it out? Haven't won for 3 matches, the Panthers, before today. Walsh slices it. Free kick has already been given. Nick Dahl been brought down.
Well, they've only had the one win this season, Monaro Panthers, and that was against Woden Western at Monaro Synthetic. Can they double that? Got opportunity to score their second of the afternoon here from the free kick.
Super unlucky not to have got a second already. We'll see a game this season where their Woodwick's been struck so much by one side. 3 times Panthers denied by post and bar. Neo goes short. Ed McCarthy's got himself some space here. Fires it across goal. Nieuwen does the defensive work at the near post and does it well. And Smith's won a throw. It goes long. Driscoll's volley forward. Doherty for Tuggeranong. Switch of play towards Turek. Has to wait for the support. Clips it into midfield, but Nick Dahl is there, and McCarthy volleys that forward, and that's turned out into a really good ball to Smith, who slides it across goal. Adam Neo somehow denied. A sensational save by Jacob Wiseman. I think he got his foot on it. Somehow it's still 1-0.
That is a sensational save from Wiseman. He's pulled off quite a few incredible saves this season, but that might just beat the lot.
I'm not sure how much of Ed McCarthy's ball forward was picked out Sam Smith, or whether he's just volleyed it in hope more than expectation. But Smith's ball across goal, Van Nieuwen, looked all intents and purposes as if it was 2-0. And it would have been, but for an unbelievable intervention by Jacob Wiseman. Again, though, Jimmy Canarides will be thinking, what do we need to do to score a second goal?
First it was the woodwork, and now it's an inspired goalkeeping performance.
Ahmed Shaibu looks to slide Smith through, and Smith's got away from Bunel here. Sam Smith onto that right foot, fires it goalwards, and Wiseman Just collects calmly. Bowls it out to Nguyen. Peterkin. Gaps beginning to open as Tuggeranong go looking for an equaliser. And perhaps his legs get a little tired and leggy in the middle of the park. Rosebakken. Still full of energy. Driscoll's made the run ahead of him. Tried the little trick. Walsh clears for Tuggeranong. Monaro's turn to turn the screw, looking to kill this game off with a second. Jenkins continues his run into the penalty area, but the ball's going to beat him. Some save though, wasn't it? Unbelievable stop.
He just had to spread himself as wide as he could and make himself look as big as he can to make the target a lot smaller for Neo. Just an incredible save.
Smith. Driscoll. Can he get in behind here? The long legs stretched out by Doherty. Rosebakken. Heavy touch and Bunel goes sliding into the tackle. Comes off the Tuggeranong man last. Into the final 6 minutes. The balance of play and on chances created, you'd have to say that the Panthers have had the better.
I think that any side that hits the woodwork 3 times has had the better opportunities, and they should have claimed all 3 points by now, or made it insured.
It's going to be a nervy last 5 minutes for them unless they can find a second. Ahmed Shaibu looking to do just that with the ball towards Adam New. Forced a bit wide, but still got plenty of time to pick his cross in the middle, and Wiseman's pushed it up into the air. Smith gets rid of it. Guy can't get it under control. Howe finds New. Looks to curl one towards the far post where Smith has snuck in unmarked. And here's a chance for New, and he's volleyed it in. This time he doesn't miss. A mistake in the back by Tuggeranong United. Bunel didn't see Adam New coming, and New smacks it in the net, and that's probably the points to Panthers.
It's a goal they deserved in this match. They've had a flurry of chances in the last 5-6 minutes, and Neo snuck in like a thief in the night and stole the ball right off Bunel's foot and finally buried his chance.
It's been coming. It's been coming since the 4th minute after they went 3-0 up, to be honest. And finally the Panthers can breathe a little easier. They look like they're starting the bottom 4 finals campaign with 3 points. Putting the pressure on Tuggeranong and Olympic next week in their meeting. If they can get 3 points against Woden Western next week, the Panthers will book their bottom 4 finals spot, won't they? Bunel caught in possession again, this time by Smith. Hardly put a foot wrong all season, Harrison Bunel, but there's a little reminder of what first grade football's all about. Took his after ball moment for 1 minute, or 1 second I should say, and bang, it's in the bottom corner. And as good as Wiseman's save was earlier, not unearthly to stop that one.
Just one of those mistakes that he'll learn from in his young career, in his debut season. Sometimes you take your moment to control the ball and to try and play out from the back, and some moments you just got to put your foot through it and clear the danger. But he'll learn from it. He's a young kid with a bright future.
Doherty finds Peterkin. Truman, who's played a lot deeper in the second half. Ahmed Shaibu nicked the ball of his toe. Jenkins can bring it forward. Ahmed Shaibu does well to find Rosebakken. Is there still more for the Panthers? Smith looked to dummy Bunel, who comes back well to win the ball and is fouled by Sam Smith. Good response there from the young centre-back. Well, this tournament will be used, I think, for experimentation by some of these sides. We've seen it today. Tuggeranong playing Eddie Coggan at right back. Harry Truman's had a spell further back as well. Driscoll finds Dahl. Smith does likewise, and that's a good ball from Nick Dahl to find Adam New. Kept himself onside up against Van Nguyen. Adam New on that right foot, bends one goalwards. Shoveled out by Wiseman. Bit untidy.
luckily, no one in the Monaro Panthers was gambling on him making a mistake, and he could regather from his spill.
As the sun fades, the Riverside Stadium. Newen. Gaia. Walsh. Peterkin took his eye off the ball. Into the final couple of minutes of this one. About a minute and a bit to play. Truman. Has he got something up his sleeves? Gets it back from Peterkin. Tries a little trick in midfield, but David Jenkins has seen that before. Driscoll. Rosebarken. Guy is there. Stretched his legs and gets a free kick. So we can ignore the clock at the ground. By our watch, it's about 30 seconds plus stoppage time to go. Newen. Walsh. Nice turn from Bunell. Newen. Look for Coggan. McCarthy's there for the Panthers. Smith. He's been good today, Sam Smith. He's been good all season, but particular influence on this one.
Both wingers for Monaro Panthers have had a great game. Neo and Smith, both players who have struggled. I don't think that either of them had scored this season so far. So to bring themselves into the game and work off Lukman Abid Shaibu up front, they've had two great games.
Both Sam Smiths on the park today as well. Sam Smith for Tuggeranong coming off the bench. Haven't tackled each other yet. Just waiting for that.
We'll just put a request down to the ground.
Peterkin stepped over it and probably the wrong option. Here comes Ahmed Shaibu. He's got Sam Smith and acres of space to his right. Here is Smith. Can he finish it off? He can't because Bunell makes a great block. It's back to Smith again. And Bunell again does well defensively. Good recovery.
He hasn't let his head drop after being at fault for the second goal from Monaro Panthers, and he's done well there to win both challenges.
Into stoppage time, corner for the Panthers. Adam Neo in no real rush to take it. Why would you be? It's a change. Aaron Cashman has gone off. And it's a debut for Patrick Mitchell. Ball swung in for Ahmed Shaibu! Brilliant header! Wonderful ball in from Rosebarken. And the header from Ahmed Shaibu gives Wiseman no chance. It's a third for the Panthers and it's richly deserved.
They seemed in no rush to take the corner, but when they did, they worked it short, and a great ball into the box by Rosebarken. And Ahmed Shaibu reads the across the best and buries it into the back of the net.
Missed a header from a similar position in the game here last week. He wasn't going to miss that. The American forward buries his fourth of the season. 4 in 8 for him now. And the scoreline perhaps reflects the number of chances that the Panthers have created. 3 in the net, 3 times they've hit the woodwork. It's hard to argue that they don't deserve all 3 points here, and they're putting themselves in a really good position to take control of this bottom 4 final series. Doherty. Smith. Guy tries to force his way through, gets a shot away as well. Took a deflection, will be a corner kick to Tuggeranong. 3 minutes of stoppage time played.
I think he's actually blown for a free kick here for the...
He has, right on the edge of the box, yep. Good spot, Lockie. Shooting chance, perhaps. Regan Walsh can find the net from this range.
It's probably the last kick of the game as well.
Certainly will be. Can't see there being much time for more after this. We're in the 4th minute of stoppage time. Walsh is lining it up. We saw him bury one from a similar kind of range last week at Deakin Stadium. Slightly different circumstances though. Doherty's over it as well. He's never ever scored for Tuggeranong in 100 matches. It's going to be Walsh, and this time not quite so accurate as his heroics last week. Surely they'll let Cam Doherty take one before the end of the season. 100 games without a goal.
Might have been in a better position for the left footer.
Bruno Kell looks at the watch and signals full time, and a thoroughly deserved 3 points for the Monaro Panthers, who pretty much dominated this one from the start in terms of good chances created.
From the opening whistle, they had a flurry of chances to score and took the lead in the 3rd minute, and from then on it just seemed like almost a foregone conclusion. A few chances here from Tuggeranong United, but in the end of the day, Monaro Panthers too good.
Thanks for your company. Look, and we'll do it all again next weekend for the top 4 and the bottom 4 here at the Riverside Stadium and at Deakin Stadium. Today, though, the Panthers were the ones to show their claws. Sam Smith, after 3 minutes, they hit the post and the crossbar 3 times after that and had to wait till late to put it to bed. Admin Neo making it 2-0 with 4 minutes to play, then 2 minutes into stoppage time. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu with his 4th of the season, a thumping header, put the seal on the results. The final score here at the Riverside, Tuggeranong United 0, Monaro Panthers 3.